Living abroad versus being in the United States. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. We got hubby on today. We got hubby in the back hanging out here. Y'all know the drill. If y'all been on before, he'll occasionally chime in and it'll mostly be me talking, but you know, that's fine. That's fine. But hey Mel, how you doing? Good? Yeah? How you liking Panama? We warming up. You gotta speak a little louder.
It's great.
It's great. What do we like about it? Look at his face. He like, why you putting me on the spot? What you like about Panama, baby?
Well, the place we stay at got a great view.
Baby, you gotta speak up.
We got a great view.
We do have a great view. If this setup wasn't so complicated, I would turn the camera around and show y'all. But if you look at my last Living Abroad update video, you'll see it. But as of right now, I can't do that. By the way, welcome y'all. Welcome. Drop in the comment. Thank you for the hearts. We love it when y'all come in hot showing some love. Let's get it. Thank y'all for the hearts. Please drop in the comments and let me know where y'all are at in the world. Hey, Kyla and Alex. I'm glad as well. Let me know where y'all are tuning in from. Where are y'all at? We are in Panama right now. It has been a minute. We were like ghost-ish for a while. Whenever I was in the US, whenever we were visiting there, I was not going live. Let me know where y'all are at. Let me know where y'all are joining in from. Like I said, we are in Panama. It is 4:47 p.m. right now in Panama. Yes, New Zealand. Oh, do you love it there? Like, because I hear that it is gorgeous in New Zealand, and I love whales, and there's a lot of orcas there, and I would love to go to New Zealand and go whale watching. Were you about to say something? Oh. But yeah, so we're in Panama. We've been here for like 4 days. We flew in on Sunday. Thank you for sharing the live. Yeah, we flew in on Sunday, so we have not been here very long. I'm gonna be honest, I can't answer a ton of like Panama questions for y'all right now because I feel like we're still very, it's just early, okay? It's just real early days here. But so far we're liking it. We have been here 2 months. Oh, I love that. Do you guys normally stay in one place for that long? I think the longest we've stayed, we did Thailand for 9 weeks, but it was like 5 weeks, and then we went to Japan, and then we came back. But 5 weeks was the longest that we've stayed in a place, and I literally told Mel the other day that at this point, I don't want to stay anywhere less than 60 days because I am just, the moving is just so much, but we'll see. Because I say that, and then I'm like, oh, I want to go there. Economic status. What does that mean? Housing costs? It depends on where you are. You asking what our housing cost is for here in Panama? In Panama, we're actually renting privately. This is the first time that we have done that. We normally do Airbnb. Occasionally we'll do like a hotel if we're doing like a 3 or 4 day trip somewhere. But where we're at right now is $1,700 affordable in Panama. Again, affordable is relative, but we're paying $1,700. We have a 2-bedroom, 2.5 bathroom. Yeah, 2.5 bathrooms, super spacious. In general, we don't really want to be paying this much to be living abroad, but it was last minute and it was what was available and we took it. But like whenever we were in Thailand, we were normally paying like $1,000 for like a full month, which of course Thailand is in Southeast Asia, which is like extremely cheap if you are, like if you're making US money. So we would be expecting to be paying anywhere from between like $1,200 and $1,500 outside of Southeast Asia. And that's more so like, again, like with Airbnb, like there are things you can do to travel cheaper than that, but listen, y'all, we're still learning along the way. And like, so we book so last minute so often that we don't even really get to take advantage of a lot of these really great deals, but we're working on it, I swear. Newlyweds traveling our first year of marriage. Oh, that's amazing. This is our longest country. Congrats. That's amazing. Welcome y'all who are still joining. Don't forget to drop where you are in the comments. Thank y'all so much for all the hearts. I appreciate it. Drop any travel questions you have, any questions you have about living abroad. I will answer to the best of my ability. I will go ahead and tell you that we've been moving around. A lot of people are like, oh, what country did you move to? Have you been in Vietnam? Yes, we spent March in Vietnam. But yeah, so we've been moving around. We've been to like several different countries. We are planning on picking one spot in Latin America next year to settle. But as of right now, we're still moving around. So there's that. But we got on here to talk about life in the US after living abroad for almost 5 months. So we left the US in February, and then we were traveling, and then at the like almost late June, that is when we went to the US to visit. So it was sort of like reverse culture shock for us. And so yeah, we're just gonna talk a little bit about some of the differences that we noticed almost immediately when we left from Thailand. Let me put that out there. So we were in Thailand for 4 weeks before we came home. We were in Thailand for the previous 4 weeks. So the culture shock is coming from Asia back to the United States. So where should we start, babe?
Obviously, living expenses different, like things.
Yeah.
Things are much more expensive in the States, and it got more expensive since we left. So that was one thing, and definitely coming from Thailand or Southeast Asia, where things are way much cheaper, is like a big culture shock.
Yeah. And I think we tried to, Pam, I didn't understand your question. We tried to give ourselves a pep talk before we came back. Before we went back to the US, like we were like, you know what? We know the prices are going to be higher. We're not going to trip. You know, we're not going to go on and on about the price differences. Obviously, it's way cheaper in Thailand, but yeah, it was still just like a slap in the face. Just like how expensive things have gotten in the United States. Almost to the point where there's a TikTok video that went viral a while ago, and this girl was like, how are people affording life? And I felt that. Like, what country? We're in Panama right now. But we've been moving around. We haven't been in just one country, Pam. But yeah, what is the last thing I just said? Oh my God.
Good at how people live in.
Yes. That video where the girl was like, how are people affording life right now, like in the US? And I felt that because I went home, and then like the next day, I ended up going, my mom lives like 2 hours away from my hometown. And the next day I was meeting to go with my sister, and I went to like a smoothie place to get both of us breakfast. And literally at a smoothie place for both of us, it was $23 for, yeah, tropical smoothie. It was $23 for 2 smoothies and 2 like breakfast quesadillas. And I was just like, what? I mean, and not to mention, I mean, let's not even get on tipping culture in the US. And what's really sad is that I saw this video today. There is a girl, that's my monthly Thailand smoothie. I know the smoothies in Thailand are like $1 and the fruit is so fresh. Oh my God. I'm from PMA. Is that Panama? I don't even know if that's Panama or not. But yeah, I'm just like, there's a video. I literally saw it today. That's amazing, Pam. I saw it today, and this girl was like, y'all, please go out to eat. Like, servers are desperate. Like, we need money. And the comment section was just full of people saying like, we can barely afford groceries. We can't go out to eat. I can't afford to tip. You know, people talking about, I can't afford the 20% tip. It seems like these days anything less than a 40% tip is crazy. And it's true. And and tipping culture has kind of been like that since the pandemic. And it's one of those things where, you know, at the end of the day, I recognize that a lot of people make their money off of tips. The fact of the matter is, these companies should be paying you a good enough wage to not have to depend on tips. Like, y'all, when you travel, when you go to other countries, like in Japan, it's like an insult to tip. Like, I mean, I remember even like whenever I was in like Germany and I was hanging out with a friend of mine there, she was telling me how like people get uncomfortable in certain places if you tip the way we tip in the US. And I'm not saying don't tip people. Like, I am a firm believer in, if you get a service, you should tip 10,000%. However, these days it's like, you go to pick up food, tip. Fast food restaurant, tip. I'm like, what? It's crazy. And just looking at, you know, things like groceries, like, you know, going into the grocery store, spending $100, $150 and and I use like the reusable bags, having like a bag of groceries. And I spent like $80, and I'm like, and y'all, I don't even buy meat. To be honest with you, like for the most part, I be buying shit like fruits, veggies, you know, snacks, like oatmeal, like milk, bread. Like I don't even really be buying like meat, and I just be like, how on earth is stuff this expensive? Like I think, yeah, the cost. Are you laughing at me?
That's
The cost is crazy. Not to mention just cost of living. We are from North Carolina, and you know, my whole life I've heard about places like New York and Cali and, you know, Chicago, and these places being, you know, $2,000-$3,000 minimum for like a 1-bedroom. Y'all, we're from North Carolina. We are from North Carolina. Why the hell are there 1-bedroom apartments going for $1,700-$1,800 in North Carolina? Y'all need to stop. And listen, North Carolina is a beautiful state. I mean, it's kind of like a baby California in terms of like it has beaches, it has mountains, it has all 4 seasons. So it's but it's cheaper, right? So it's a really popular destination. Was cheap. Depends on what part you live in. Depend on which part of what, Miss Upstate. But depending on which part of New York. Where are you living at? Are you living somewhere in New York that's cheaper than that? Because if so, go ahead and drop it in the comments for some people. And I think it's probably different if you are
living in a suburb in a city.
not even, because my friend Christina lives in Yonkers, and like her shit is crazy, and that's a mortgage. Like I don't. But then again, like I don't listen. I've never lived in New York or Florida. Not Florida. I've never lived in New York or Cali. But were you about to say something? Oh. But I have friends in both, and it's just crazy. Here, everything is constantly. In here, do you mean the U.S.? Buffalo, Niagara region. So, are you saying in the Buffalo and Niagara region, it's not as expensive? Is that what you mean? If so, amazing. But what I can tell y'all is, based on what costs are in North Carolina, I don't even want to think about like what they are in other places. Okay, well that's good to know. I will say that if you are not from New York, let's be honest, y'all. People move to New York and they want to live in the city. They do. I mean, it's just the way it is. And especially like if you're from the South, like we don't even know New York outside of New York City for the most part. Like we know it exists in some capacity, but really if you don't live in New York, and if you live like in the South, New York is New York City, which I know is crazy because obviously there's so much more to New York than that. But again, I'm just being honest. It's kind of like how people up north think that Florida is just Miami. Like I remember whenever me and him, we were actually supposed to be living in Florida right now, fun fact. But whenever we were going to live in Florida, I remember my friends who lived in New Jersey and New York, they were like, Florida, like they couldn't wrap their brain around people living there. Like to them, Florida was like a vacation spot. And I'm like, Florida is a ginormous state. And then people think about like Miami, and I'm like, yes, Miami is in Florida, but Miami is not. Miami is Miami. Like there's Miami and then there's Florida. And yes, again, Miami is in Florida, but it's literally in Florida, but I don't know. Anyways, let's move on. What else? What else was like a culture shock for us? We just talked about the cost. Oh babe, look at the clouds cleared up. Look how beautiful that is over there where the land is. Wow. Not pay attention. Okay.
I was also just seeing all the cops around, like just driving around. That is one thing I definitely noticed. Even being here, being abroad or whatever, like I always felt safe, but just being back in the state and seeing all those cops on every corner trying to give you a ticket for some, we'll talk about that, but just
oh my god.
But also it's like seeing all those cops and still not being safe is like, that's also another thing. And just the amount of death and people getting shot up, that was also another thing. I'm just like, I do not miss that. Like, you look on the news, somebody got shot, there was a shootout of here. Just those are all things that I did not miss, and I really did not like that going back to the States. It was just like, what the hell did I come back here for? Because it's always so sad for people to get killed for no reason. Yeah. That's
interesting because I personally didn't. You're right, Miami just has a different vibe. Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's like Georgia and Atlanta. Whenever I think about Florida and Miami, like yes, Atlanta is in Georgia, but Atlanta is Atlanta. And then you have the rest of Georgia. It's a very similar thing with Miami and Florida. But yeah, I personally didn't notice the cop thing that much. I think maybe one day you pointed it out. But it's true. Like not around here, but in the places that we've been, like you just don't see as many cops. You just don't see them. And if they are, if you do see them, most of the time they're just kind of like minding their own business. Like it's just, versus like cops that are just kind of waiting around to like put you in a trap.
Yeah, in a bad position. Like when you see cops in other countries, they just I'm just getting posted here. This is my post, and I'm just here for like people to see me here, or whatever it is. But and most of the time, you can definitely tell people are not really scared of them, or just like they're just there. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. In the U.S., the culture, I mean, obviously we're speaking from the perspective of being black, but the culture around cops is like, avoid them.
Facts.
Like, avoid them at all costs. Like, you know, you see them, if you can, you go the other way. Versus like other cultures where they're actually more like part of the community. Ooh, not my light going off like that. Actually, I don't even really think I need it. Do you think I need it?
Maybe.
What?
That's fine.
Okay, I'm gonna turn it back on. But yeah, like it's just, I feel like whenever we were abroad, it was just more like cops were, damn, Pam, are you saying yes, I need the light? Pam is like, turn that light back on. I'm hollering. We have a lot of natural light in here, which is, we actually don't have any, like this is without the ring light, and we don't have any lights on in here. Like the lighting that you see is literally the natural light from outside because there's so many windows in here. If you look at my most recent living abroad video, you will see that I did give a sneak peek, not a sneak peek, but I did give a quick peek of what our, apartment looks like if you want to see it. I might show at the end, but like I said, right now it's just too much trying to move this setup. What else as far as reverse culture shock going back into the US?
The food is disgusting. Like I felt bloated. Obviously, I love eating my mother's food and stuff. That was definitely something I really missed. Like eating like African food, just eating some regular home cooked meal, where I know something I'm used to. But just the regular old fast food is disgusting. It's like it's expensive. McDonald's is not cheap no more. Like I went in there, I was like, what is this? Like fast food is not cheap no more. Back in the day, you can get fast food for cheap. But like I'm on a budget, you can go into like a fast food. I went to McDonald's. Big Mac is like almost $10. The Big Mac meal, yes. Yes.
I don't even know why I'm shocked. Because literally I ate at Wendy's and it was like $12 and I got a small and it was $12 and I was like.
And also another thing I noticed is size difference. Oh my gosh, like getting a regular size in the States, most other countries, like our regular sizes, other countries large. That was also another thing, like sodas. That was also another thing I noticed, like.
Oh yeah, that's a good point with the serving sizes. We should show them that Popeyes cup. We actually had Popeyes today because there's one like right around the corner. I had Popeyes today for why did you have to come back? We went back to visit.
I just said same family.
Yeah, mostly to see family and friends. But we're abroad again. I get, which is kind of misleading from the thing up here, but we're in Panama. We're not in the U.S. We already left again. But yeah, I had Popeyes today and I ordered a small and like the cup is like. Let me see if I can find the cup. Okay, I think he's gonna go get the cup. Y'all, when he brought the cup, I was actually shocked. Like I looked at it and. Yeah, like I looked at it and I was like, oh, like I'm not gonna lie, like my American ass was almost like that's it, because I'm used to being in the States, and even when you do fast food and you get a small, that shit is like this big. Like whenever I go to Wendy's and I get a small meal, it's this big. This is just,
so usually it's just the cup.
This is the cup.
When you ask for like a drink or something, like, oh, let me get a water cup or whatever.
That's
the cup you get.
Yeah, like this is how small the cup is, y'all. This is it right here. I'm just gonna put it beside my hand for reference. Like versus in the US, like the serving sizes for everything are so big. And I remember in multiple countries, whenever I would go to like an ice cream or something like that. So let's say Cold Stone, for example, because I know y'all know Cold Stone, right? So you got the like it, the love it, and the gotta have it. Y'all, I'm not kidding. In other countries, like the like it size will be like that is the serving. You don't go in another country and get a cup of ice cream this big. Like they don't offer them. They literally do not offer them. And if you get a small, I don't even have, like if you get a small, that it's like here. Like right here. If you go somewhere and you get a small, it's like this big. Like the serving sizes in the US are crazy. And thank you so much for the gifts, Zev. And it's crazy because our country, so many health problems, like people just dying from heart disease, diabetes, high blood pressure, cardiovascular, all these things all the time. And yet, all the serving sizes are so big, and yet there is fast food everywhere, and yet you have to pay extra when you want something healthy. And like, I've known for a while that sickness is a business in the United States, but going back after being abroad for 5 months, like, it was so blatantly obvious. Eve, the temperature here is 83. It's rainy season right now, so like it is hot and humid, but it's not like blazing hot like it was in Thailand. I was 125, now 130. Damn, do you mean that's what you were in Panama and then you went to this? I mean, I 100% believe it, Pam. Like, I believe it. Like, there was like this bloat that I had forgotten about because I'd been out of the United States for so long. Like, my stomach felt like a beach ball after being there for like a week. Like, they were like, I was putting on my clothes and I was like, damn, like, why does my stomach feel so big in this? There's like this like bloat that you just can't get rid of. And that's the other thing about like food in the United States in terms of just like the culture of like how we eat. In the United States, we are trained to eat until we are stuffed, like whether we believe it or not. When in reality, we really should only be eating until we're satisfied. But a lot of times, even when we get satisfied, we feel like we're still hungry because we're not full, because our stomach isn't tight. Like, y'all, that's not supposed to be normal. Like, we and everything, and our wheat is tainted. Yes, that's the other thing I was gonna say, Zeph. Like, whenever I eat gluten and dairy abroad, I'm fine.
Like, yeah, a lot of breads and stuff like that.
Yep. Yeah, like you eat like, and it's like, and you know, bread is so demonized in the US, and like I try not to have like a diet mentality, so I try not to be like, oh, bread is evil, but it's not even necessarily bread. It's the way that our food is made. Like I said, gluten and dairy. I remember, oh my God, y'all, when I was in Europe, I can't tell you how much gluten and dairy I ate. Felt fine the whole time. In the US, drinking the milk, I was just like, it's crazy. Sickness is literally a business in the US. Like, they profit off of us being fat and stupid. And listen, I'm a plus size girly, so I'm not here to throw shade at nobody. But what I will tell you is, after being abroad, I understand the stigma of like, oh, Americans are fat and lazy. I completely get it. Because whenever and it's not every country and it's not everybody, but when you are abroad, you just don't see as many overweight people. And y'all, I'm not just talking about Asia, because I know that Asians are typically smaller. Even in Brazil, like even in Spain, like you just don't see a lot of people who are like really heavy. My sister only ate poor food spaghetti in Europe and she lost weight. 100% believe it. I heard a girl say her brother ate pizza every day for 2 months and lost weight when he was in Europe. I 100% believe it. Like, it's madness, y'all. Like, it's actually madness. And like, you know, big pharma is big pharma. Like, and that's another thing, and I'll kind of move away from food. But anything else on food?
No.
Oh my God, the fruit, man.
Yes, the fruits.
Depressing.
Yeah. Yes, like you don't have a good amount of good variety of fruits. That's one thing, and when you do, it's not sweet. Also, another thing that would definitely, I guess you can say like a little culture shock, because was like when we was abroad, most of the time, all the food that we had seeds, and going back to the States where you had seedless grapes, seedless watermelon, like I said, like that was something like you actually have to go search for normal foods that wasn't artificial made or whatever. Yeah,
because fruit is supposed to have seeds, y'all. Every single fruit is supposed to have a seed in it.
Oh, and there's no sweet either.
Yeah. I feel like this is where I feel like I have some sweet fruit, not as much, but he is like, no, this is terrible. But also, like, the fruit goes bad so quickly in the United States. Like, when you go, y'all, fruit is supposed to smell like fruit. Like, I be in the grocery store in the US picking up fruit and smelling it, and I'm like, this don't even smell like nothing. How is that possible? Like, the bananas in the US taste like plastic to me. They don't even taste, it's like a fake sweet. Versus, like, whenever I'm telling you, I had like the best banana. I had the best tasting banana ever whenever I was in Egypt, and it was like a small. It wasn't even like a pretty yellow. Like, I remember looking at it like, bro, like, you can miss me with that. I don't want that. And he was like, try it. There's a guy on the side of the road selling bananas. He popped that thing open and then handed it to me, and I was like, damn. I didn't even know Like, this is what a banana is supposed to taste like. Like, I didn't even know until I ate it. Like, and that's the thing, y'all. You really won't know until you know. Like, in Thailand, oh my God, like the pineapple, the watermelon. I mean,
like most of the fruit you got over there was ripe and sweet, or was like and most of this, like when you went back to the States, it was like even fruits that was supposed to be in season. I don't know what it was made for, but it was not.
Yeah, and I think even accessibility. Y'all, in Thailand, we could walk downstairs and pay $1 for fresh food. Here, not here, I'm in Panama, what am I saying? In the US, shit, good luck. What you about to get with $2? Nothing. You can't even get a fucking Snickers for $2 in the US anymore. Like, it's madness. Like, the place that we were living at in Thailand most recently, like, there was a market up the road. Y'all, we walked there probably, 4 or 5 nights out of the week for dinner, getting a watermelon for $1? Like half a watermelon for $1, getting like fresh corn on the cob for like 50 cents. Like, y'all, I'm telling you, it's coming back to the US, like it was just crazy. Like, eating out in Thailand, like because like street food and like markets are so prevalent there, eating out in Thailand is like eating a home cooked meal. Like, you're still eating these foods that are like fresh and like, you know, good wholesome ingredients. Even like some of the restaurants. Remember the last place we stayed at, the place we always went to that had the little chihuahua? Like, one day we were, what is that noise? Like, one day we were, they don't gouge their people for basic needs. That's what I'm saying. Like, one day we were going downstairs to eat at this like little like mom and pop shop. This guy was like pulling up with the bags of groceries. Like, you knew that like the food that you were getting was fresh. It's like you go in these other countries and you pay less money for fresh, high quality food. And then in the US, it's like you're charged more money to pay for food that's just gonna kill you faster. The food thing was a huge piece. And that's one of the many reasons that we decided to leave the US in the first place. Where did you live? I lived in Ghana. So Marie, we moved around. So we were in Brazil, Spain, China, Japan, Thailand.
Bali.
Yeah, Bali, Indonesia. Like, we moved around. We weren't just in one spot. Yes, we have been to Mexico. Mexico is my favorite country. It's been multiple times. Love Mexico. I'm sad I won't be there this year, but you know what? I'll be there next year. But anyway, why did you come back? We came back to visit. So we're actually not in the US right now. We're in Panama. We already left again. So I'm talking about whenever we were there for a visit for, I remember you in Bali live. Yes. Why not the motherland? We'll be in Africa later this year. So yeah, I guess we can move on from food.
Another thing I was thinking about is the fitness industry. Like, the United States has the biggest fitness industry in the world. I looked it up, and I'm in the fitness industry too. So I definitely love the gyms there. Like, you know, gyms are more affordable out there. Because I looked at some gyms here, it's way more expensive.
It's more expensive here?
Yes.
Okay.
Because I was like, most people they usually get their workout doing this. We're talking like on a regular basis compared to actually going to a gym. Yeah. And most gyms in the States, you can go to a Planet Fitness. I think the cheapest one is like $15 now. Mm-hmm. You can go to and get pretty much any gym membership for free, pretty much or cheap or whatever it is. And we also have one also like the biggest country in general has like a whole bunch of gyms, and we also like the biggest people. That was also another kind of thing that was like
the irony.
Yeah, so it was very irony. Like, one thing I'm not sure, like if you notice or whatever, like the airline that we flew, like we haven't flown any United States airline since we've been gone since, apart from coming back. Yeah. We went back to
in United,
back to the States.
Yeah.
Like, and one of the things I definitely noticed was like the space, like. They try so much like to stuff people in
oh wait, hold on, baby, that's a whole different one. Mm-hmm. I want to hold on because I want to talk about that one too. But I want to come back to the fitness thing. I didn't know that the U.S. had the largest fitness industry in the world. What county would you recommend for living permanently? Marie, I have a video on my page where I go through a list of like countries to live abroad. I also have a free guide on moving abroad at the hey Toby at the top of my page in my bio. If you want to go check that out, because there's like it depends. Like there's no like one right answer for that. Yeah, the 100% depends on what you're looking for. Thank you for sharing the live, and thank y'all so much for the hearts. Please keep double tapping that screen. But yeah, like the fitness industry being like the largest in the world, and yet Americans are also like the largest people in the world. And the other thing I wanted to say, are we? I should look that up. I assume we are. Yeah. If we are like the heaviest. We are. Yeah, not a surprise. The other thing is, whenever it comes to fitness, is that I think in the US, like so much about fitness comes down to marketing. Like, it's like, oh, fitness needs to look like this. Every time you look around, there's some new what the fuck ever diet, fitness. If you're not doing this, y'all, when you go abroad, people are just naturally in shape because, first of all, a lot of other places are more walkable than places in the United States. Like, it's not an accident that the places that have the best public transportation, right? Places like New York, places like, Chicago, these places are super fucking expensive because they want us buying cars. Like, the automotive industry is a huge, huge part of the U.S. economy. They don't want us walking places. They want us in all these suburbs. They don't want us in communities. They want us separated. They want us to have to get in our car and drive to pick up food and then want to go through a drive-through. They don't want us walking. Like, we walk, was it yesterday? Yeah, like yesterday, whenever like we walked to the store to get groceries, y'all, that's a normal part of a lot of people's lives. Even if you don't have a gym membership, you can still be in shape just from like your day-to-day life and movement. Y'all, listen, y'all ain't gonna want to hear this, but I'm gonna tell y'all, eating in front of the TV, that is an American thing. And listen, I'm humble, y'all, because I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna lie. Thank you for the gift, Toby. I'm not gonna lie. Listen, looking for Airbnbs, we get humbled and we realize how American we are because we're like, damn, these apartments don't even have TVs in the bedroom. And you know why? Because in a lot of other countries, TV is something that you do as like, you sit around and you watch a movie with your family, but then like, you go to bed and your bedroom is your bedroom. Your bedroom is a sacred space, whether it's you or whether it's you and your partner. It's not the place where you go and veg out on TV. You don't eat dinner on the couch watching TV, watching a screen. You eat dinner at a table with your family, with your loved ones. You make time for each other. Y'all, these are things that you literally would not even know until you leave. Preservatives in our food and yes, 100%. They used to sell that they are thinning people because they are hungry and don't have all the amenities. Stop. I promise y'all, those motherfuckers in Thailand, they're not starving. They are eating, and they are eating very, very well. Like, please do not be bamboozled. Where do you live? Oh God, we don't live anywhere. We don't have a home. We're nomads. Where is he from? Where's who from? Him?
Oh, I'm African. From Sierra Leone, West Africa.
Sierra Leone. I think I got bit by a mosquito on my toe. I'm scratching. Just bear with me. But anyway, it's crazy, y'all. Not you fine. Oh, baby, you got a little admirer on here. Not Precious trying to die online. Let me shut up. Let me stop before they cut me up for they in my life. TikTok will be like, oh, you were engaging in dangerous activities. He is fine. I'm very well aware. Lived in Germany for 8, thinking about Colombia. I've heard really good things about Germany. We love Colombia. We were there in 2019, and we're probably gonna end up there next week at some point. He is taken, obviously. He is very taken. Yes. There was something else I was gonna add to that. What was I just talking about? Losing my train of thought. No more duck. What? What you talking about?
Germany.
No, before that, I don't remember. Germany is good for melanated folks. I've heard of Black people liking it there. Yeah. I mean, I was there. I didn't have any issues. I think it also probably depends on which part of Germany. I was in Stuttgart, and I was in Stuttgart, and I'm sorry, I get distracted by the comments. No, I only went to Stuttgart. Well, I went to Heidelberg too, but I don't feel like that counts. And there was like a lot of army bases. Like nobody even looked twice at me in Germany. Like I remember thinking I was gonna be like the only black person there, and people were gonna be giving me like, look, no, that never happened to me. Again, I was in Stuttgart, but I have heard good things about Germany. Flights taken by me. Oh yeah. So back to what you were gonna say. Oh, I know what I was talking about. I was talking about fitness. Yes. The whole point I'm trying to make here, y'all, is like, just stay woke, because in the US, we will be sitting here believing that in order to be fit, we need to go to are you planning to leave the US again? We're already not there. We're already in Panama, girl. We already left again. Like in the US, they will have us believing that we have to be in the gym like 5 days a week in order to, be fit or whatever. And it's like, you don't, y'all.
That's the society you kind of live in, because people don't usually do like the hard activity like walking like most other countries do. So like they kind of make the gym thing like a very big, like, oh, you have to go to the gym to lose weight, because most of the time people don't have the time or the resources to be doing anything else, either because people are busy working all week, or people just get in their car and travel and just go where they're supposed to be going, compared to like when you like in other countries and stuff like that. A lot of people don't have cars. A lot of people use public transportation, so they usually have to walk to some of those places, which will make you lose weight anyway, and also, yeah.
Go to India next, please. We are done with Asia for this year, unfortunately. We love Asia, but we're done with Asia for this year. What's that sound? What's that sound? You got something you want to say? Oh my God. Anyway, it devastated us to leave Thailand. It really did. And to not be there right now. So many do you feed him African food? Man.
She don't even feed me, because I can feed myself and her, so.
Okay. Do I feed him? Is he my child? Sorry, what?
I think she just meant how you cook or whatever it is. Like, African food type of thing.
Trust me, he is well fed. Why did you leave? Why did I leave the US? Or why did I leave from living abroad? Let me move on from fitness, because I keep losing my train of thought.
We left. That's that. Like, obviously, just leaving. Just the rat race. That was also another thing that we definitely noticed going back into the state. Like, I just felt like as soon as I got back.
Oh, no, she said, why do we leave abroad?
Yeah,
no, we left from abroad just to visit. Yeah, we are abroad again. We're in Panama right now. But as far as, yeah, why we left the US, y'all really gotta ask. Back to what you were saying about the airplanes. Did you want to go ahead?
I'll just say what I said. Obviously, like the seats are way much smaller. It's cramped. You don't have that much leg room.
Which is ironic.
Yeah, which is like I said, we are the biggest people.
We're the biggest people. Thank you, Toby. America got the biggest people and the smallest plane seats. Make it make sense. Like it literally does not make any sense. I've learned this when I first lived abroad back in 2019, when I was flying with like some like Latin American airlines, and I was like, I could not believe the amount of leg room you got. I was stunned, like literally stunned, because I was like, what the fuck? What are y'all doing in the US? I hate flying. I don't mean American. Like, I hate flying United States Airlines now. I do. I hate it because like the seats are so fucking small and it makes no sense. Best and worst experiences while living abroad. That's a pretty broad question. I don't think I could give a best. I mean, I've had ways. Well, I know what your best is going to be.
I was at the food. Just living abroad. The food in general is always.
No, but like an experience though, not like eating.
Skydiving.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
I'm a thrill seeker, so anytime I can get to do that, I definitely love that. So.
Yeah, he skydived in Brazil, so he's gonna say that's definitely gonna be his best experience. Mine would probably be, don't judge me, mine would probably be whale watching in Mexico. Like that, I love whales. I love whales and I love Mexico. We went to, this wasn't even, you know what? We weren't living abroad then, damn it.
Also, I would just say also Thailand, like going to see some of those temples, like it's very breathtaking. Like it's so large and just tranquility that you feel. It's like
the Buddhas are dope.
Buddha statue.
The Buddhas are dope.
Like 30 feet up in the air. There's like golden statue. It's
way
like
higher than 30 feet.
40, 50 feet or whatever it is.
Like 300.
Whatever. But the whole point is like just seeing such a large statue, like just there, and it's like you can just feel. I don't know. It's just different.
Yeah. Also the elephant sanctuary in Thailand. Brazil. I just love Carnival. You know what?
Yeah.
Carnival was probably my best experience.
Yeah.
Worst experience?
Let's see, we really had a worst experience. What?
Well, I feel like the worst experiences, they weren't necessarily related to the country. I mean, well, Bali, that fucking hotel.
That's not the country, though.
Okay, you're right.
That's not the country because you could have went to another place.
China. You know what? I got it. China. No, okay.
I feel like we should. We would say China could be one of our worst.
No. You can have your own worst experience, but I'm telling you.
But, I feel like China we didn't really get that good of an experience in China. I feel like I want to give China another chance.
I'm not saying I wouldn't give. Well, actually, I'd have to be convinced. I'm not saying I would never give China another chance. What I'm saying is that my worst experience that I can think of right now, outside of that shitty ass hotel we stayed at in Bali, my worst experience was getting to China and realizing that, like, even in the airport and the hotels, those people do not fucking speak English. And when I say those people, I am literally talking about just the place that I was in. I'm sure there are people in China who do speak English, and listen, language barrier has not been a thing 95% of the time for us, but what it took just for us to get from the hotel, from the airport to our hotel, I was fucking over it. That was the stupidest layover. Like, that we should have just, yeah. It was Hot Mess Express. But other than that, there's tedious things like, waiting for like taxi drivers, it being really hot and, not knowing where you are. But there hasn't really been anything that was like, not while living abroad. Like, I think I've had worse experiences that weren't this year, like from travel. But like this year, like with us traveling, I can't really think of anything that was like, oh my God, this is terrible.
No, we're going to talk about the Ubers and food delivery, how it is compared.
Oh yeah. I feel like you need to take notes because I don't want to forget. Notes. I still got questions. Hold on. I didn't find the family travel, and I didn't write down what the names were. CM Honey Sign. What you talking about? How do you support yourselves? So I have like a part-time project-based remote job that I've had for like 3 years that I do off and on. And then I am also a digital marketing entrepreneur. So I do like digital products, affiliate marketing, those types of things. And he is currently looking for a remote job, but since he's also a trainer, he can also train clients virtually. But if you are looking for ways to make more money so that you can travel, there's a guide in my bio called the Cash Flow Come Up Checklist. And there are so many different ways that you can make money. Some of them are in person, but most of them are income streams and side hustles that you can do literally from anywhere. And some of these are things that I've done. If it's something I haven't done, I was, very honest about that. But peep that guide. It's only a $9 investment, and you will be shocked at all the different ways that you could be bringing in more money. Like, that's actually one of the things that I'm really passionate about. And one of the things that I teach is different ways for people to make money outside of a job. And there doesn't have to be anything wrong with having a job, but when you are only dependent on that one stream of income, like, y'all, that's dangerous, because these jobs be dropping people like hot tamales, and you never know. I've been fired, I've been laid off, I've had to like quit jobs suddenly because the work culture was so toxic. Like, I know what it's like to be dependent on one stream of income, and in 2024, especially if you're living in the US, it's crazy. So I now have multiple streams of income. Again, that's something else I talk about on my page, and that's why I created the Cash Flow Come Up Checklist. It's in my bio. Like I said, check that out if you want to learn how you can make more money so that you can travel, because I promise you, yes, you can. And if you are looking for remote jobs, there is also a woman in my bio. I think it says like get help with remote jobs, there is a woman there that you can reach out to. Like she does like career coaching, resumes, cover letters, and she even does reverse recruiting, which literally means that she will apply for jobs for you. We're actually working with her right now because we've been looking for a while, and like remote jobs are like super, super hot right now. And when you're applying for jobs a lot, it can be very like soul sucking to not be hearing back from people. So we actually like hired her to apply for jobs for us. So yeah, we're excuse me, remote jobs, side hustles, different income streams. Y'all, money is everywhere. Money is everywhere, but you got to be willing to get out of your comfort zone a little bit. You got to be willing to put yourself out there and go get it. Like people act shocked whenever I tell them about my income streams, and I'm like, this was not always the case. At first I was somebody who had one income stream, and then I got to a point where I was like, this is ridiculous. Like like I said, these jobs, they're looking out for themselves. The business are looking out for themselves. So you got to look out for yourself. Even if you have to start small, you can choose like in the cash flow come up checklist. There are things that you can start doing today to start earning more money. Whether you start making an extra $50 a month, $500 a month, or $5,000 a month, there is something that you can start doing to make more money. Like, not saying you don't have money to travel, like that should never be a reason to not travel, because number one, travel doesn't have to be expensive, and number two, money is everywhere. If you make it a priority, you can make it happen. I'm 66, maybe too late for me to move around. I do want to visit Ghana. Age is a state of mind. What you talking about? Why would it be too late for you?
Never too late.
How are y'all paying for all this traveling? So Sarah, I kind of just answered that question. Let me know if I did not. I'd be all about ancient religions and buildings. Oh, in Thailand, it's amazing. The bugs in Bali, yeah, you're not. But to be honest with you, Toby, we got eaten alive by mosquitoes in Brazil, in Vietnam, and like it was in all of them. Bali, yeah.
Bali is just like
Bali is the fucking jungle.
Yeah,
like that's like, yeah.
Yeah, y'all gonna meet every creature out there. You're gonna.
Every creature is crazy. We didn't meet no crazy creatures. We did hang out with some monkeys. A monkey pooped on my bag in Thailand. There's a bad experience for you. I'm over monkeys now. We have a friend who's coming here next week for her birthday, and she wants to do this like monkey boat thing, and I'm like, bruh, I don't know. I think between Thailand and Bali, I think I might be monkeyed out for this year. I don't know. Not 16 comments, baby. I might need you to join from your phone and help me moderate. Yeah, I'm scrolling back. Bear with me. How do I get the guide again? J TikTok, the guide is in my bio. It's called the Cash Flow Come Up Checklist. So it says the Cash Flow Come Up Checklist, or it says like side hustles and income streams. It's in my bio. It's $9. Thank y'all for the hearts. Thank y'all for sharing. Amen. Betting on yourself is always the best investment. Yes, New York crime fighter, 100%. Y'all, it is so empowering when you start making money on your own. I don't care if it is $1. Like once you realize that you don't have to depend on somebody else to make money. And like I said, like if you go look on my page, you'll see I have videos on like different side hustles, different income streams, like weeks that I've made $500, weeks that I've made $50. Like it's, at the end of the day, having multiple streams of income is going to serve you in so many different ways. And you can start where you are. There's always something that you can do. You don't have to look at these creators on here that are like, oh, how I made $20,000 like last week. Like I've been down that road and multiple times, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I understand when it feels like those things are not attainable. Maybe you're not ready to, be working 70 hours a week on building a brand, or maybe you're not prepared to start, going live for 3 hours every single day. Maybe you don't have, 10 grand to invest in a coaching program. And listen, I'm literally telling y'all all the shit that I've done. Like there's not enough time for me to go through all the different side hustles and income streams that I've tried, and whatever, no regrets, because I feel like I am finally at a point where I feel really good about the things that I'm working on right now, but there's always something that you can do. Thank y'all for the shares. I had to get my kids, did you mean the family travel excuse meet what? CM honey sign. I still am not knowing the family travel. I don't remember saying anything about family. So I feel like I'm tripping right now. Anybody else? Did you get shots to travel? No, we didn't get any shots. Whenever I traveled in 2019, I got the yellow fever vaccination. Other than that, we have not had any vaccinations.
Also, I feel like most of the time, if you go up in the States, you should be mostly up on your shots anyway.
I wasn't even up on my tetanus shot when I was in the U.S.
Mm.
It's crazy. I want to move out of the country. Then it was you. Listen, Sarah, if I can do it, you can do it. Miss Bianca, where are you? Mrs. Bianca is in Panama. Hi, Connie. All right, so I'm caught up on comments, so let's get back to it. So we talked about, what did you just say whenever I said let's remember?
Uber. Like
Uber Eats, food delivery, yeah.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, the family, bye Toby, thank you. The family travel websites, not the ones you do without kids. Oh, that wasn't even on a live, girl. That was on a video I posted. That's why I'm so confused. I think Boundless Life is what it's called. Yeah, BOUNDLESS. They do family trips if you want to look into them. The one that I recommended is Remote Tier, but that's adults only, like no kids. What part of Panama? We're in Panama City. When you guys were out shopping, you mentioned there was a family travel. Oh yeah, so yeah, day before yesterday. So yeah, Boundless Life. Yeah, you're welcome. I'm gonna be adding that to my Move Abroad guide. Actually, I might have it in there already. But yeah, check my bio for the free guide on moving abroad. And if you don't have that guide and you're serious, get it ASAP, because that guide is about to be not free, because I got a whole bunch of stuff I'm about to add to it, and it's going to become a paid product very soon. So if you do want to move abroad and you do not know where to start, then I highly, highly recommend getting that free Move Abroad guide while you can. And even if you're not interested in moving abroad, if you just want to learn how to travel, I have a free travel guide as well for travel beginners. But yes, food delivery. How does Panama feel compared to Asia? You know, ask me that like next week, because right now we just really have not done anything here. Like, I mean, it's just not, I mean, I would say the biggest thing I see is like not a lot of street food. Like that's kind of like the biggest difference. Other than that,
some things you definitely see American prices too, especially American product, like things that are made in the States. You're gonna pay American price for that. Also,
no, you're gonna pay more than American price. Mm-hmm. Like oat milk is like $8 here by the Oatly brand. Now there is not like whatever brands they have here, but there are like, if you go in the grocery store, American branded products are really expensive. Unlike in Asia.
They do use the U.S. currency here.
Bye, Sam, honey.
That's something we learned when we got here.
Oh yeah, and the currency is USD, which has been convenient, to be honest with you. But yeah, so food delivery, another thing that's different. So in the US, whenever you get food delivered, like in an apartment or a hotel, like people, the expectation is that people are gonna bring it to your door. Here, no, that does not happen ever. If you are in like an apartment, hotel, whatever, whenever you order food, you gotta take your ass downstairs to get it. Like when I tell y'all, Americans, we are spoiled, okay? We are spoiled. The convenience is crazy. Like
too convenience. That's
yeah.
Large.
Okay. Well, whatever. I'm not going there. When I was there, it was equivalent currency of US dollar. You guys should visit Starfish Beach. Is Starfish Beach, is that near Boca's? Because I know I want to go there. Or is that San Blas? I definitely want to visit Starfish Beach. Like I said, y'all, we really have not done much here. I actually have a moving update video I'm going to post later where I talked about how it's like one of the reasons I love slow travel as in coming to a place and like having time to truly experience the life there instead of just like going to a place for a few days. It's one of the reasons I really appreciate it, because we don't have to feel like, oh my God, we have to do this by tomorrow. We have to do this right now. We've been here 3 or 4 days. We really haven't done much, which is fine with us because we're going to be here for a couple of months and we're going to have, we're going to have time to do other stuff. But let me know if there's any other recommendations y'all have for Panama, because I'm here for it. Welcome y'all who are just now joining. Welcome to Panama. Go ahead and drop in the comments. Let us know where y'all are. It's 5:40 p.m. here. Let me know where y'all at. Let me know what time it is in the world. Thank y'all for the hearts. Thank y'all for the follows. Were you about to say something maybe? Okay. Like I said, we're currently in Panama. We were abroad from February to like mid to end June, and we left again, so we are abroad again, and we're just kind of talking about, okay, Texas, we're just kind of talking about some of the differences in being abroad versus being in the US. So one of the big things about being in the US is the rat race. This is probably, I would say the rat race and food are probably 2 out of the top 3 reasons for me in terms of leaving the United States. And when I talk about, we're liking Panama so far, Harlem girl, but we haven't been here that long yet. Whenever I talk about the rat race, I mean the constant, oh, I'm gonna come back to politics. The constant barrage. Okay, Louisiana, yeah, we're in Central Time Zone. The constant hustle mentality, the constant feeling of like, we're always behind. Something has to be done. Like, everybody has at least a little bit of just stress and anxiety. Like, my husband and I talked about this. Like, you know, we left the US, but y'all, like, our life wasn't perfect. Like, we still had challenges. We just had different challenges. But being abroad, those challenges, they just felt so manageable. So what?
So quiet.
Yeah, like it was just like okay. When I went to Spain, the food healed me. I believe it. I 100% believe it. But just like in the US, we haven't had any Panamanian food yet. Like, don't judge us. Yes, we did last night. The chicken and the plantains and the rice. The chicken I've had here seemed a little bit overcooked. I don't know if it's the places that I've been, but we haven't had a ton of the local food yet. Y'all, like I said, we really have not been out or done many things yet. But yeah, like in the US, the constant hustle culture, the constant, I need to be doing something. I need to be productive all the time. There's never enough money. Even if I make more money, now I got more expensive. Now I have more expenses. I'm constantly trying to catch up. I constantly feel like I'm not doing anything right. I'm constantly feel like there's something else I'm supposed to be doing. I can't relax. Like, that's what I mean whenever I say the rat race. Like, that is probably, like I said, the number one reason I wanted to leave the US, because I wanted to live a slower life. Like today, y'all, I scheduled my newsletter for my email list, and I felt so proud. I was like, yes, my newsletter is done. I feel good about it. If I was in the US, I would have been like, okay, what else can I get done? Okay, I did that, but I still need to do this, and this. Like, there's just culturally in the US, we live to work versus other cultures. They work to live. Mia, thank you so much for sharing. Thank y'all so much for all the hearts and shares. I appreciate it. It literally is it's just a different culture, y'all. It's a different lifestyle. Like, whenever we talk about living, whenever you hear the terminology, live a slow life, you won't even know it until you go somewhere else and you feel it. Were you about to say something? Mm-mm. You just over there smiling at yourself? Yeah. Okay, weirdo. Just playing, baby. But yeah, like, that constant level of stress and anxiety. And I think on TikTok, we make a lot of jokes about how life is in the US and how so many people are living on edge and, you know, all of that. Y'all, that's not supposed to be normal. That is not supposed to be normal. We're supposed to be living lives that are full of peace. It doesn't mean perfection. What was that? We're on the 31st floor. Damn. That was crazy to hear that all the way up here. Anyway, just that toxic hustle work culture is just something that we really wanted to get away from. And whenever we were back in the States, I think it was like less than a week. We were there and
as soon as I got to the States.
Oh my God.
I'm just saying, I started feeling it.
It took me probably like 4 days, and I was like, oh my God, like I can feel it. I can feel the pressure. The pressure of what? And speaking of the rat race, what I've learned also, like in the United States, it's not okay to not be okay. Like in the United States, like I feel like
trauma bonding.
Yeah, oh my God, so much trauma bonding. And just like the need to constantly be presenting yourself as someone else or somebody else, like not being able to just show up and be peaceful. Another thing is, like, speaking of like trauma bonding, y'all, what I've learned about having conversations with other Americans, it's easier to bond with people on negativity than it is any other topic. You want to talk about something positive, something light. Yeah, you might have a few people for a few minutes, but let me start complaining about my job. Let me start talking about, this is the thing when TikTok pretends like I'm not active, even though I am. Let me start complaining about my job. Let me start talking about how expensive everything is. Let me start talking about how tired I am. Let me start complaining about how homegirls getting on my nerve. People can have conversations for hours. Like, I feel like United States conversations are based on complaining. All we do is complain. And we don't even have real problems. Y'all, we don't got no fucking problems in the United States. We come from countries where literally seeing people on the ground barefoot, begging for change, smiling. Like, we literally see people out here in what the U.S. would call struggling. They are happier. They're happier than the people in the United States. And that's something that you and I talked about a lot. Like, whenever we were in the U.S., we were in a 3-story, 3-bedroom, 3.5 bathroom, garage, townhome. We're happier living out of suitcases than we were with the house and the cars and the jobs. And we're happier. Like, I left a 6-figure job in December. Y'all, I am happier not knowing how bills might be paid next month, next week. I am still happier being abroad. Like, don't worry, be happy. It's a lot easier to do that not in the United States. I'm behind on comments. Woo-hoo. I've been money stressed here since high school. I believe it. Which place did you like better to live long term? Brazil and Thailand were our favorites. Thailand for him. Both for me. America is not a country, it's a business. Period. Period. Oof. Sorry, y'all. I'm trying to catch up. I am loving that beard. I am a man. Yeah, he gets a lot of compliments on his beard. When we were in Asia, between my hair, because I have a sew in now, but before I had like my afro, between my afro and his beard, yeah.
Also, like in Asia, like facial hair is not a thing. That's one thing that
it's rare.
It's very rare. Like,
yeah.
Like I said, unless the old head, you might see some old head have like long beard.
Not
like
the old heads.
But most of
Thank
them,
you,
they have a clean face.
Thank you for the roses, Antoinette. I appreciate it. How's the view? What view, avid reader? What view are you talking about? Just like the view here? We got views on views on views here. It's beautiful. Everything you explained, that's not how all of us are living. A lot of us are at peace. Ty, if you are at peace in the United States, I love that for you. Stay there and stay in your peace. I love that for you. I'm speaking from my experience, and I'm speaking from the experiences that I have seen, witnessed, and talked to other people about. Yes, Sasha, moving to Bangkok. We love Bangkok. Are y'all planning to move to a place permanently or just traveling around? So Harlem girl, we're planning on staying somewhere for at least a year next year. But this year is kind of like our move around year. He was definitely around the wrong people, girl. You cannot speak for all Americans. Ty, I don't ever speak for all Americans. I am thinking of moving to Lagos, Nigeria. I love that for you. Never been to Nigeria. I agree with you so much. My boss hates my happiness. Zapatilla Island. Oh, I've never heard of that. Where's that at? So true, so true.
Not the boss hates your happiness.
Oops. But you are trading in U.S. problem for smaller or bigger problems abroad. It's really not even about it being smaller or bigger. And listen, y'all, I am never going to try to convince somebody to leave the United States. I don't think you should if you don't feel like you want to. If you don't feel it in your heart, soul, and spirit to leave, don't. Stay your ass in the United States. And if you have never traveled, I also believe stay your ass in the United States. Some people might disagree with that. I do not think that you should move abroad if you have not actually traveled. And I'm talking about travel. I'm not talking about resorts and cruises. I'm talking about unless you have really traveled and lived among other cultures, I don't think you should leave. I think that it is a decision that is very big, it's very personal, and it has to be something that is really on your heart. Like I said, as far as like the problems, we did not have a horrible life in the United States. Like we've even had conversations about that. Like in the US, and there's a lot of great things about the US. Like we did not have a terrible life, but we still wanted a slower life. We still wanted to be in a place where community was prioritized. We wanted to be in a place where we could eat without being worried about what was in our food. Like we wanted to be in a place where like they weren't prioritizing profiting off of our sickness. So it's not even about the bigger or smaller problems. It's just the question comes down to what type of life do you want to live? If you want to have that life where everything is convenient, you have everything at your fingertips, you can drive up to the drive-thru and eat, and everything is big and everything is shiny. If you want that life, stay in the States. Like, living abroad might not be for you, and that's perfectly fine because it's not for everybody. I hate it here living again. Were you living somewhere before? I went to visit Thailand and Vietnam. We were in both of those places this year, and we absolutely loved it. What's the political climate like? Where? We just got here. Out the window. I might have missed that. Zapatilla Islands is in Panama. Okay, we need to remember that, baby. Zapatilla Island. If you're rich, 1/3 are government connected, just stay here, but poor people offer us very little. Sign up for all your offers for free. I appreciate it. Of course, I want my kids to travel and learn from the world. I love that for you. And speaking of
I feel like we all should travel. Everybody should travel so they can get a little bit of
perspective.
Because I feel like most people in the States that was born in the States, that live in the States, have a specific view of, okay, this is everything kind of surround them. But usually when you travel around the world, it's like, no, everything does not revolve around the U.S. We might not be the best or whatever. We kind of seem like the best, but most of the countries have other things like, so I feel like in general, like I wasn't born in the States. I was born in another country. I lived in other countries and stuff like that. So I know the difference and stuff like that. So that's just my opinion.
It makes a difference.
You gotta take what you can do what you want.
That's why I always try to encourage people to travel, y'all. Like, see the world. Like, the world is so big. Yes, Aruba. I want my kids to know their roots and learn. Yes. Want to look into Boundless Life because I hear really good things about it. I'm gonna be doing a consultation soon. I need to get out of here. Girl. Listen, I feel it. I feel it. Like I said, I don't think living abroad is for everybody, but you really have to think about the type of life that you want to live. And like, speaking of politics, I remember hearing about this. It was like 10 years ago. I don't remember where I was, but they were comparing how much money goes into political campaigns in the United States compared to outside of the country. I think it was a place in Europe. Y'all, I am not kidding. It was like 10 times the amount. Like, it was crazy. Like, in the US, and especially since 2016, like, we have gotten to the point where everything revolves around politics, and that's part of the reason why the country is so split and so divided. On TV, radio, what do you hear? What do you hear? Politics, big pharma, debt. That's what you hear on TV. They're either telling you you're sick, get this drug that may stop you from dying, but then you also still might die because dying is a side effect. Your debt. Get this credit card. No credit, bad credit, that's fine. We'll take it. Let's get you into even more debt because the country thrives on debt. Oh, okay. What else? Politics. Y'all, do you know there are countries where big pharma companies are not even allowed to advertise to people? They're not even allowed to do it. And again, these are things that you would not know until you left. Like, I mean, it doesn't even get me started on the election. Y'all, the United States to me at this point is a comedy show. Like, it is a puppet show, and it is comedy. Like, that's how I feel about even when I was there. And again, so many good things about the United States, y'all. I'm not going to deny that. There are amazing. Listen, I'm over here and I miss Amazon. I'm not gonna tell you how many things I ordered on Amazon when I was in the US. Okay, let's just say I had to catch up. I missed it. Like, there are a lot of great things about living in the United States. I will never deny that. But again, you have to really think about the life you want to live. Like, that's really what it comes down to. We could probably go on and on, but I have a call in 6 minutes, so we are going to have to jump. So tired, but my husband's not on board to leave. Girl, I got toxic because my brain was like, leave his ass behind and let me chill. Listen, it took me years.
You don't have to like move. You can let's go on vacation. Let's see this place, and that's usually how you get people.
Vacation.
No, vacation. Let's go.
Vacation is a stretch.
Let's go visit somewhere and see how we like it or whatever it is. When you start talking about moving now.
Have you ever been abroad for like longer than just like a few days? Because what I would say is look at the videos on my page on remote year. I have a whole playlist on them. In my bio, I have a remote year FAQ video. Look into a company like Remote Year where you can go and live abroad for at least a month and like, you know, see how he likes it, see how he kind of feels about it. Like maybe, listen, I lived abroad for the first time in 2019, y'all. It took me 5 years. It took me 5 years to convince this man. It didn't really take 5 because I really wasn't trying to convince him for 5 years, but y'all see what I mean. What do you do for a living? I'm a digital marketing entrepreneur. And then I also have like a part-time project-based job that I've been doing for years. So Rhea, I talked a little bit about that earlier. If you want to know more about side hustles and things that you can do abroad, then get the cash flow come up checklist in my bio. Y'all, I gotta jump because I gotta call in 4 minutes, but thank y'all so much for joining. Make sure you hit that follow button if you have not already. I'm still around for your travel questions. I'll be going live more. Maybe not every single day, but I'm definitely gonna be going live like multiple times a week. So just stay tuned. You're welcome. Just stay tuned. There will be so much more to come. Listen, hit up my bio. I got a free travel guide for travel beginners. I have a free guide on moving abroad. Yeah, y'all are welcome, of course. I have the cash flow come up checklist, and I have a budget travel masterclass if you want to know all the hacks to ball out on a budget to travel for the low. Yeah, I got hella resources that I created just for y'all based on the questions that y'all asked me. So yeah, I'll be back.